Okay. Well, and here I think my first sitting is okay. Salam Habibi, how are you? I hope you are fine. It is me, Michaela Caesar Santa, and welcome to you to my channels. Accordance with thumbnail and titles. Yes, well, not the thumbnails. Accordance with titles. Yes, today we are roasting Maulana Abu Toha Adnan. Because in one Instagram Reels, Maulana Abu Toha Adnan say that here are some negative points and she provides some misinformations about United States of America and Israel and the Muslim unities. And here now I would let you check that how Maulana Abu Toha Adnan mislead our Muslim communities about United States of America and Israel. So let's get started. And here, first of all, here we could see, well, here now, here we can see the points. Well, okay, here Abu Toha Adnan says that after the downfall of United States of America, uh, Israel would be the ruling state of America. Okay, but the point is, Israel is a, country himself. Now, how Israel would be ruling state of the countries? That means, hence, Israel would be ruling state of the world. Okay. Well, and now here we can see these moments. Well, and Dajjal would be from Israel and he would rule the world. What would be happens? To protest, to protect our countries against the Israel, then what? Allah Rabbul Alamin unite the entire Muslim community. Okay, and here that is the moments. It is significance. But now here is a world map, and I would say that okay. Now the point is here is a proverb that here it is different from a Christian community and a Muslim community. I mean, the proverb can differ between a non-Muslim community and the Muslim community. Well, proverb is united we stand, divided we fall. Okay. For Christian communities, here is a proverb: united we stand, divided we fall. For Hindu communities, well, here is one Hindu countries, but still united we stand, divided we fall. For Jewish communities, here is a proverb that united we stand, divided we fall. But what about the Muslim community? In Muslim community, the proverb is divided we stand, united we fall. And now I will show you the proof. Okay? Here the proof is significance. Well, it is our lovely Israel. It is our lovely Israel. And here is hateful Palestinian terrorist territory. Okay. Now, Let's take it about the Yom Kippur War and 6 Day Wars. Well, 6 Day Wars and Muslim allies were attacking Israel. Okay. Now, who was the Muslim countries? It is Syria, it is Iraq, it is Jordan, it is Saudi Arabia, well, it is Egypt, it is Libya, it is Algeria, and it is Kuwait. All of Muslim countries were united against Israel. Why Algeria, Libya, Egypt, Saudi Arab, Jordan, Iraq, and Syria were united against Israel? Because this Muslim country's purpose is to eliminate the sovereignty of Israel. And in this purpose, there was a 6 Day Wars. 6 Day Wars. Now, here we can see it is the 6 Day Wars. Now, how it is called as 6 Day Wars? Because in these moments, Israel get victory against the alliance of Muslim country in 6 day. Okay. And now, the next word is Yom Kippur. In that point, Israel accept defeat, but actually Israel gets victory against the alliance Muslim of Egypt and Syria and Iraq and Jordan. But still Israel get victory. Okay, now what happens in 6 Day Wars? Well, 6 Day Wars, Israel occupied Brunei, some territories from Egypt and some territories from Syria. And after the 6 Day Wars, United States of America mediate the conflict between Israel and all of Muslim countries. Okay. Well, some of the occupied areas from Syria, Israel leave it to Syria at this the moment. Okay. Now here we can say for in the Muslim community here, divided we stand, united we fall. Okay. And now here is the next point. Now here is the topic about India's. Well, when West India, I mean when West Pakistan and East Pakistan were united, then it was difficult for India to defeat Pakistan. But still, in the first India-Pakistan war, India removed Pakistan from the half of the Kashmir. In the second India-Pakistan war, well, Indian army arrived to Lahore. In third India-Pakistan wars, India divided the two units of Pakistan, and here Bangladesh became independent. Okay. But the next two of the five India-Pakistan war. I mean, last two of five India-Pakistan wars. Here, to defeat Pakistani army, it was easy only for the Kashmir battalions in lieu of enter India-Pakistan wars. Okay, Israel is biggest. Oh, now here we can see this. Yes, yes, yeah, you are right. It would be Sanai Pelisuela. Uh, Team Sami said hello, salam. Okay. Now, what is the points? I think Team Sami, you would need to comment in English. And here it is the significant moments. That is the points. And accordance with our Maulana Abu Toha Adnan, Allah Rabbul Alamin unite the Muslim community. Okay. Now here we can see the small points. Here what is inheritance? Western civilizations would be downfall. There would be no country named America. It is the voice accordance with Maulana Abu Toha Adnan. Okay. Israel would be disappear. Well, United Kingdom of Great Britain of England would be disappear. Western civilization would be disappear. Okay. Technology would be disappear. And human would be back to horse, shield, sword era at the moment. It is the predictions of Maulana Abu Toha Adnan. And now, here I would say that how Maulana Abu Toha Adnan's prediction is wrong. Okay. Well. And here it is the moments. Okay, here we could see that is the first point. Okay, now here I would discuss about Benjamin Netanyahu's Israeli Tabota 21 versus Imam Mahdi's Zulfikar sword. Okay, now first of all, here we could see that what is the information as we can see the points. Israeli Tabota 21 rifles velocity is firing velocity is 910 meter per second. Let's assume Zulfikar sword angular velocity is omega, and as a fact, Zulfikar sword length is 2 meter. Okay, and now let's check it. What is what is the equations of linear velocity? Okay, linear velocity equations we know. Well, angular velocity multiplied by radians. Here, what is the radians? The length of Zulfikar sword, that is 2 meters. And how we can calculate angular velocity? That is 180 multiplied by linear velocity divided by bracket of radians multiplied by pi bracket close. Okay. Now here I would mention that what would be happens at the points. Okay. Now here is we can see this one. Well, it is actually an bed forming tools, and it is a bed forming bamboos, and I would consider as a bamboo sword. Okay. Now here as a bamboo sword, here we could see it would be 2 meters. Okay. Well, it is 1.8 meters. Now when it is from here, now when I turn into the parallel form, it would be a 90-degree ongoing. Well, I would convert my bamboo sword from standing to parallel in 1 second. Here my angular velocity is 90 per second. Okay. And now here we can see the points. Well, what about what is the points in sword eras? When the era would be the era sword was ended in almost 1957 in Bangladesh. Era sword has been ended in 1868 in Europe, particularly Poland, where Ottoman Empire has been defeated by the King of Poland. And in the several points, Ottoman Empire has been defeated to Russia in the several times. Yes. Where the Russian soldiers use P-35 with the firing velocity of 100 meters per second. On the other hand, Ottoman Empire use just like a sword with the angular velocity of 90 degree per second. Okay. Well, when the angular is 90 degree, what would be the circumstance? Well, we know that there in the angle of 360 degrees, circumference is 2 pi multiplied by r. Well, and half of circle circumference is almost pi by r, and 1/4 circle circumference is pi multiplied by r divided by 2. Here half circle circumference is pi multiplied by r. Okay. Now here we can see sword length is 2 meters. Angular velocity is 90 degree per second. Here we can say linear velocity is pi meter per second. What is pi? That is 3.1416. Here we can say that sword linear velocity is 3. Here we can say that sword linear velocity is here almost 3.1416 meter per second. Where Russian P-35 guns, the firing velocity is 100 meter per second, and it is the points that why Ottoman Empire always has been defeated to Europe. Okay. Now in this moment, what about in Bangladesh? Sube Bangla, Nawab Siajuddaulah has been defeated to British East Indian Company Army, where General is Robert Clive. His P-35 firing velocity is 120 meter per second, where the linear number of Shazudullah for soldiers sword linear velocity is 3.1416 meter per second. And here we can see almost P-35 firing velocity is almost 30 times faster than sword linear velocity. And this is the points of P-35, where P-35 is the weakest weapons of the world. And now here the today's point is Tabota 21, where Benjamin Netanyahu would contains Tabota 21 with the firing velocity of 910 meter per second, where Imam Mahdi's Zulfikar sword linear velocity would be almost 3.1416 meter per second. But it can be, let's assume here we would not know Imam Mahdi's sword linear velocity. Okay, and we would not need to know, but let's check it. Now, if Imam Mahdi's Zulfikar sword wants to defeat Benjamin Netanyahu's Israeli Tabota 21 rifles, then and what would be the angular velocity of Zulfikar sword of Imam Mahdi? Let's check it. Well, here we know that the angular velocity is, well, the equations of angular velocity is 180 multiplied by linear velocity of Israeli Tabota 21 rifles multiplied by 1 divided by bracket of pi multiplied by the length of Zulfikar sword, bracket close. And here let's check out the calculations. The calculation is bracket of 180 multiplied by 910 bracket close divided by bracket of 2 multiplied by 3.1416 bracket close. And here what is the answers? Here calculations can be written as 90 multiplied by 910 enter divided by 3.1416. Okay, now what would be the angular velocity of Imam Mahdi's Zulfikar sword? That is 36,070 degree per second. And now let's check it. It is mentioned that Imam Mahdi needs Zulfikar sword with angular velocity of 26,070 degree per second. And now, well, now here is the points. What is the meaning of 26,070 degree per second? Let's check it. Okay. And here we can see this one. Someone said, say hi. Salam. How are you? Okay. Well, every Western country is considered as the biggest feminist, but the reality is, in that so-called biggest feminist, women can be punished. Women can be punished if women are criminals. But in Arabian countries, women cannot be punished even if she is criminal. Okay. Now let's take the points. Now here 2607 divided by 36, that is 72.416 continuous. Here the round figure is 72.42. Okay. Now what is the meaning of that? The meaning is, well, here Imam Mahdi's niece, the Zulfikar sword with the angular velocity of almost 72.42 circle rotation per second. Okay. Now let's see what is 72.42 multiplied by 4. Here I would check it the points, because sword can move as an 1/4 circle else. Now 72.42 multiplied by 4. Okay, that is 289.68. Well, that, what is the meaning of that? Well, here we could see, here we can see the points. Imam Mahdi needs Zulfikar sword with the angular velocity, where Zulfikar sword can be moved in 289.68 times per second. Yes. If and only if Zulfikar sword or the Imam Mahdi wants to defeat Benjamin Netanyahu's Israeli Tabor Tower 21. Okay. And the reality is, it is almost impossible for Imam Mahdi to contest Zulfikar sword with the angular velocity of 289.68 moving time per second. Well, because what is the meanings of 26,070 degree per second as the angular velocity of Imam Mahdi's Zulfikar sword? That means Imam Mahdi has to move Zulfikar sword in 289.68 in 1 second. That means here we are, it is morning 6 o'clock, March 19, 2026. That means here, almost here we can see, it is Ramadan 30, English calendar 2026. Well, Ramadan 30, English calendar 2026. Here we can March at the morning 6 o'clock, Imam Mahdi would start to move his Zulfikar sword. Okay. Now in the same time, that means Ramadan 30, 2026, morning 6 o'clock, 1 second past, 290 times swords moving has been complete in, should be complete in 1 second. Otherwise, it is not possible for Imam Mahdi's Zulfikar sword to defeat Benjamin Netanyahu's Tabor Tower 21. Okay. Well, now what is the points? What is the points accordance with Maulana Abu Toha Adnan? Accordance with Maulana Abu Toha Adnan. Okay. Well, accordance with Maulana Abu Toha Adnan, well, the era of sword would be back after Tawada 21's era being disappeared. Now, the point is, here is our question. The question is, when Tabor 21 rifle would be disappeared? Here we can believe that our Tabor 21 rifles can be disappeared if that was the bullet Tabor 21 and laser Tabor 21 can be replaced by, laser Tabor 21 can replace bullet Tabor 21. And here, my disclaimer is, here my point is about the reactions of Maulana Abu Toha Adnan about the prediction of Imam Mahdi. And now, Imam Mahdi's Tabor 20. Okay, now here let's check it. Tabor 21 can, as a bullet rifles, can be disappeared. But we can definitely say the Zulfikar sword cannot replace bullet Tabor 21 because bullet Tabor 21's linear velocity is 910 meter per second for now. Well, to defeat bullet Tabor 21 as a with the firing velocity of 910 meter per second, Zulfikar sword, Imam Mahdi's angular velocity should be 26,070 degree per second, and it is not possible to achieve the angular velocity for Imam Mahdi's Zulfikar sword. Okay, and here we can say the Maulana Abu Toha Adnan is geopolitical anti-science person. Okay, now here is the points we could see the moments. Now let's check it. Okay. Well, in the next versions, Tabor 21 would contains the firing velocity of 9100 meter per second. Hence, what would be the required Zulfikar sword angular velocity? Let's get the points. Okay. Now here we can see we have previously mentioned the angular velocities equations is 180 multiplied by linear velocity divided by bracket of pi multiplied by Zulfikar sword length bracket close. And here the calculations is 180 multiplied by 9100 divided by bracket of 2 multiplied by 3.1416 bracket close. And here how can we calculate it? That is 90 multiplied by 9100 divided by 3.1416. And here Here we can see that omega velocity is almost 260,696 degree per second. Okay. Well, now here I would mention you that what is the meaning of the that. Well, now let's check the moments. Here my weapon is calculators, and now 26,696. Well, multiple. I apologize. 26,696 divided by 360 degree per circles, and let's check it. It would be says that 724.16 circle per seconds. Well, and now the point is our sword moves 1/4 circles, hence 72.16 multiplied by 4. What is the meaning of that? Well, 2896.64 1/4 circle per seconds. Okay. Now here is the moments. That is the significant points. Here we would see. Here that is the realities, and somehow reality is opposite than Maulana Abu Toha's Adnan's Imam Mahdi's predictions. Okay. In the next versions of in the next time, Tabor 21 rifles would contain the firing velocity of 9100 meter per second. Okay. And what is the meaning of that? The meaning is significance. In 1 second timing, firing the bullet fired from Tabor 21 can travel 9100 meters. It would say 9.1 kilometers. Okay. Now here, let's check it. What's going on? Now here, omega's points. It is the signal. In that moment, Imam Mahdi's Zulfikar sword records the angular velocity where Zulfikar sword can move in almost 2867 times per second. Yes. Here I can move sword in 1 time per second. 1, 2, 3. I can move 3 times in 3 seconds. But in this moment, Imam Mahdi's Zulfikar sword needs the angular velocity where Zulfikar sword can move 2867 times per second. Otherwise, it is not possible to defeat Israeli Tabor 21 rifles with the firing velocity of 9100 meter per second. And that is here significant points. Well, that can be here two significance as we could see the moments, and that is the dangerous points as we could see. In real life, none of sword warrior can move 2867 times per second. I mean, none of sword warrior can move his sword in 2867 times per second, because none of sword warrior contains sword angular velocity of 260,696 degree per second. That is required at the moment. Well, now it is the points we could see these points. But what about Maulana Abu Toha Adnan's? Accordance with Maulana Abu Toha Adnan's, here we okay, where is he? Well, accordance with Maulana Abu Toha Adnan's, well, when Imam Mahdi would be returned to defeat the Israel and the Dajjal king of Israel, human would be back to horse, shield and sword. Okay. Now here in this moment, what kind of science Maulana Abu Toha Adnan used to predict these levels, I don't know. But I will can say that Maulana Abu Toha Adnan would not use any science, because what is the today's form? Today's form is that Israeli Toha 21 firing bullet firing velocity is 100 meter per second. And here, what is the assumed points? And here, to defeat these levels of Israeli Toha 21 rifles of Benjamin Netanyahu, the Honorable Prime Minister of Israel, well, here we can see these moments. Imam Mahdi's Zulfikar swords records the angular velocity of 260,696 degree per second, and that is not possible for Imam Mahdi. Well, here is bullet and here is sword. Well, if sword's angular velocity would be faster than bullet's linear velocity, it is the only possibility the bullet can be defeated, rifle bullet can be defeated by sword. Even sword angular velocity is equal to rifle bullet linear velocity, still bullet can be defeated, rifle bullet can be defeated by sword. But if sword velocity is slower than rifle bullet linear velocity, I mean if sword angular velocity would be slower than rifle's bullet velocity, linear velocity, here we can see the, let's forget that sword can defeat rifle's bullets. And here Imam Mahdi's sword angular velocity is 90 degree per second. Well, if Imam Mahdi's sword Zulfikar sword angular velocity would be 360 degree per second, still it would be impossible whole, it would be almost impossible to defeat Tabor 21's rifles varying velocity. Okay, because Tabor 21's rifles varying velocity is 900, I mean 9100 meter per second, where Julpicar source angular velocity is 360 degree per second. Okay, what is 360 degree per second? That is 4 times 1/4 circle moving per second. And here we can calculate the 2 pi multiplied by sword length meter per second as a linear velocity. Now let's check it. What is the linear velocity? What is Julpicar sword length? That is 2 meters. Here Julpicar sword length would be 2 meters. Thus, as Julpicar sword length. Julpicar sword linear velocity would be 4 pi meter per second. That means that can be almost 16 meter per second. Now, where is 9100 meter per second and where is 16 meter per second? Here we could say that Julpicar source would be defeated by Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu's Israeli Tabor 21 rifles. And here we can see the points. When Imam Mahdi would move one circle Imam Mahdi would use sword with the velocity of 360 degree per second in one circle times. Benjamin Netanyahu's Israeli Tabor 21 rifles can defeat the sheer chest of Imam Mahdi, and probably Benjamin Netanyahu's Israeli Tabor 21 can defeat Imam Mahdi's head. Now, here we can see these moments. Well, here shield can be Kepler's. It is okay for this. It would be remains as it is. But sword cannot defeat the Israeli military Kepler shield. But Israeli Tabor 21 can defeat Imam Mahdi's sword shield when Imam Mahdi's sword shield cannot protect Imam Mahdi's chest from P-35 with the firing velocity of 120 meter per second. Hence, and let's focus about Tabor 21 rifles velocity. And here we can see that Maulana Abu Toha's prediction is here 100% wrong. Okay. Now here the next hypothetical point is, here would be the next versions. The versions would be like Tabor 21 rifles firing velocity would be 91 km per second. That would be 91,000 meter per second. Hence, what is the circumstance? Let's check it at the moment. Okay. And here we can see that here is the significant points. Well, here Benjamin Netanyahu's Israeli Tabor 21 uh, rifle's firing velocity is 91,000 meter per second. Well, now let's assume Julpicar sword angular velocity is omega, where Julpicar sword's length is 2 meter. Okay. Now let's check it the points. Omega is angular velocity and v is linear velocity. Angular velocity is the equations of angular velocity is 180 multiplied by linear velocity divided by bracket of pi multiplied by sword length. Okay. Now here we could see these moments. Well, sword length, what is the calculations? 180 multiplied by 91,000 divided by bracket of 2 multiplied by 3.1416. And here, let's check it. What is the calculations? The calculation can be written as 90 multiplied by 91,000 divided by 3.1416. And here, let's check it the results. The results is 2,606,962 degree per second. Okay. Now let's check it. What is the meaning of that? Now let's check it. 2,606,962. Now let's check it. What is that? That is divided by 360. And what is the results? Results is significance. Well, 7,241.57 circle moving per second. Okay. Now sword moving is 1/4 circle moving. Hence, now let's check it. 7,241.57 multiplied by 4. What is the meanings of that? Well, 28,967 times. Okay. Now here we could see this. It is the significant points. Israeli Tabor 21 rifles contains the firing velocity bullet velocity of 91,000 meter per second. And to to bury the bullets of Benjamin Netanyahu's Israeli Tabor 21 rifle, here Imam Mahdi's Julpicar sword need the angular velocity, that can move almost 28,967 times in 1 second. Okay. Now here is the more points. If Imam Mahdi's Julpicar sword angular velocity is that the sword can move 26,000 times per second, still Imam Mahdi's Julpicar sword cannot defeat Benjamin Netanyahu's Israeli Tabor 21 rifles with the velocity of 91,000 meter per second. And that is the significant points. And here we can see that it is different. It can differ the result of the war between Benjamin Netanyahu, the Honorable Prime Minister of Israel, versus Imam Mahdi. And that is the significant moments, term points. Okay. Now, here we could see the significant momentum points can be significant as we cannot tolerate Maulana Abu Toha Adnan's prediction, because Maulana Abu Toha Adnan's prediction is anti-science. According with Israeli technology, Israeli Tabor 21 rifles can fire the bullets with the velocity of 91,000 meters per second. And to bury the bullet of Benjamin Netanyahu's Israeli Tabor 21 rifles, Imam Mahdi's jewel-picker sword records the angular velocity of 2,606,962 degree per second. And in these moments, if even Imam Mahdi's jewel-picker sword angular velocity would be 2.1 million degree per second, Imam Mahdi's jewel-picker sword cannot defeat Benjamin Netanyahu's Israeli Tabor 21 rifles. And now the reality is, according with Maulana's Abu Toha Adnan's, Imam Mahdi's jewel-picker sword angular velocity would be 90 degrees per second. And that means it is geopolitically clear that Imam Mahdi would surrender to Benjamin Netanyahu, the Honorable Israeli Prime Minister. Okay. Now, what about the points when Benjamin Netanyahu would be removed from the designation of Prime Minister of Israel by election, and in that same election, the another Israeli would be Prime Minister of Israel? Imam Mahdi jewel-picker sword cannot defeat the Prime Minister of Israel's Israeli Tabor 21 rifles, because in this moment, rifle velocity would be 91,000 kilometers per second, not 91,000 meters per second. It is 91,000 kilometers per second. Now, what is the points as we could see? Okay. Now, here the point is that here calculation would be 90 multiplied by 91 million divided by 3.1416. And here that is and in this points, the angular is significant at the moment, because hence Imam Mahdi's jewel-picker sword's angular velocity would be 2,606,000 962,000 degree per second. And now, what is the meaning of that? Yeah, that is to significance as we can take at the moments. Well. Here, where is my weapons? It is here. 2,606,962,000, and that is, we can say, that divided by 360 degrees. Now let's check it. What is the points? 7,241,562 circle hell per seconds. Okay. Now let's check it. 7,241,562 multiple by 4, and what is the moments as well 72 41 50 562 multiple by 4, and what is the significant points? That is 28,966,248 sword moving time per seconds. Okay. Now here we can see this moment. What is the meaning of the points? Well, now let me consume here as myself as a Imam Mahdi, and at the morning 6 o'clock, Ramadan 30, 2026, I move my sword. Okay, here we can see that I move my sword at starting. In the same days, Ramadan 30, 2026, morning 6 o'clock, 1 second passed, my sword move would be complete 28,966,248 times in 1 second. Okay. Now here we can see these points. Sword moving one time is 90 degree, and here we can see these points. If Julfikar Talwar and if Julfikar sword angular velocity is 28,966,247 sword time per seconds. Here, Imam Mahdi's Julfikar sword cannot defeat Benjamin Netanyahu's Israeli Tabor 21 rifles. Okay. And here, and that is the moment. Here we could see the points. Okay. Now, here is the significant points. If Julfikar Talo, okay. Now here we can see these moments. If Julfikar Talwar angular velocity would be 2,606,961,000 degree per second, where Israeli Tabotar 21 rifles firing velocity is 91,000 kilometer per second. Here, then Imam Mahdi's Zulfikar sword cannot defeat Benjamin Netanyahu's Israeli Tabor Tar 21 rifles. And now let's forget the Zulfikar sword with the angular velocity of 90 degrees per second to defeat Israeli Tabota 21 Tabota 21 rifles firing velocities of 91,000 kilometers per second. Well, let's forget about it. Now, it is almost impossible for Imam Mahdi's Zulfikar sword. But notwithstanding these scientific calculations of angular velocity of Zulfikar sword, Maulana Abu Toha Adnan claims in the last day Imam Mahdi would unite the every Muslim community of the world and defeat Dajjal, the king of Israel, with the return era of sword, where today era is Tabor Tar 21 with the velocity of 91,000 meter per second, or Tabor Tar 21 with the firing velocity of 91,000 kilometer per second. And that is the points where sword eras cannot be returned because of lack of proper angular velocity of Imam Mahdi's Zulfikar sword. Then how can Maulana Abu Toha Adnan mentions their Imam Mahdi would be returned to eliminate Dajjal, the king of Israel, with his Zulfikar sword? It is not possible. Okay. Now, when technology would born, technology would never be removed. Moreover, technology would be evolved minute by minute. Well, in 1757, in the calendar of 1757, P35 was the best rifle technology of the world. But what is today's best rifle technology? That is Tabor Tar 21 with the firing velocity of 91,000 meter per second. Hence. And in this moment, Imam Mahdi's Zulfikar sword required the angular velocity of 2.616 million 962 degrees per second. Otherwise, it is impossible for Imam Mahdi's Zulfikar sword to defeat Benjamin Netanyahu's Israeli Tabor Tar 21. Okay. And now, here I have mentioned the sword. What about F-16 fighter plane versus horse? Okay. Now, here I believe that horse is the royal fantasies, but still, let's check it the moments. Well, now what is the Israeli military tanks have of weight? That is 94,000 kilograms. Okay, and now let's back with the science, that is this tanks distance dot 2. Okay, now here departure is Dhaka, Bangladesh. Here departure is Dhaka, Bangladesh, and arrival is where? Pyongyang, North Korea. Right? Now departure is Dhaka, Bangladesh, and arrival is Pyongyang, North Korea. Okay. What is the points? Driving distance. Driving distance is 5,752 kilometers. Okay. Now let's see. Check it. Let's assume, well, horse velocity is almost 50 kilometer per hour. But still, 57, 52 divided by 50 is, what is that points? 115.04. Okay. Now let's check it. What is divided by 12? That is would be like 9.586 continuous days. Now let's check it. What is going on? 9 days, 7.04 hours. Okay. What is 0.04 multiplied by 60? That is 2.4 minutes. Well, 4 multiplied by 6 is 24. Okay. Now here we can see these moments. Now in Dhaka, Bangladesh, when Imam Mahdi would see the Israeli military tank is near to him, Imam Mahdi would escape the Dhaka, Bangladesh with sword, with horse, where horse velocity is 57, 50 kilometer per hour. Now, in that moment, we could see Imam Mahdi would receive shelter in Pyongyang, the capital city of North Korea, in 9 days, 7 hours, 2 minutes, 24 seconds. Now, well, here we can see this points. Departure time is March 19, 2026 at morning 6 o'clock. Okay. And here arrival time would be March 28, 2026. Morning, afternoon 1 o'clock, 2 minutes, 24 seconds passed. Imam Mahdi would arrive in Pyongyang, the capital city of North Korea, to receive the shelter from Kim Jong-un, the president of North Korea. And it is the points when the driving distance is 5752 kilometers. Well, horse running time velocity is almost 9 days, 7 hours, 2 minutes, 24 seconds. But now, here the point is, we know the military tank velocity is 21,000 km per second. Then, what would be the timing, or what would be the driving timing of Israeli military tank? And where velocity is 21,000 km per second and driving distance is 5,752 kilometers. Okay, let's get the times. Well, and here we would see the significant moments. Well, 5752 divided by 21,000. What is the points? Well, now here we could see that with the driving timing of 0.28 seconds, Israeli military tank would arrive to where? North Korea, capital city Pyongyang. Okay, that means when Imam Mahdi would ride on the horse with the times of 9 days, 7 hours, 2 minutes, 24 seconds to arrive Pyongyang, the capital city of North Korea. Imam Mahdi would see that here Israeli military tank would already exist. That is the point here. Imam Mahdi cannot defeat the Israeli armies, where Israeli army's military tank velocity is 21,000 km per second, and Imam Mahdi's horse velocity is 50 km per hour. Where is 50 km per hour and where is 21,000 km per second? And now, in these points, here is the actual science between Benjamin Netanyahu, the honorable Israeli Prime Minister, versus Imam Mahdi. Well, what is the predictions of Maulana Abu Toha Adnan? Well, Maulana Abu Toha Adnan's prediction is, well, when the war between Dajjal, the king of Israel, versus Imam Mahdi, human would be back to horse and sword era. Okay. Now let's check what is the reality. Well, the reality of horse is the 9 days, 7 hours, 2 minutes, 24 seconds with the driving distance of 5,752 kilometers of Imam Mahdi's horse, where reality of Israeli military tank is, well, driving time 0.278 seconds with the driving distance of 5,752 kilometers. Now, well, now my question is to Maulana Abu Toha Adnan, according with which knowledge Maulana Abu Toha Adnan could say that technology would be disappear and human would be back to horse and sword era. Well, I think it is here we can say that accordance with the science of the words, accordance with the science, Maulana Abu Toha's prediction is absolutely wrong, and Maulana Abu Toha's predictions would be unscientific at the moment. Okay, now here we can see the moments. We cannot respect Maulana Abu Toha Adnan. Okay, now here we see you then. Oh, now I forget to mention the fact of Benjamin Netanyahu versus Imam Mahdi. Well, the fact is February 28, 2026, the war between Israel versus Iran has been stirred. And in first day, Iranian supreme leaders, I mean Iranian Khalifa Ali Khamenei has been eliminated. Yeah. Where Iranian Islamic regime contains JF-17 Chinese plane, Sukhoi 37 Russian planes, hence, and the best modern military technology Iranian Islamic regime contains. But still, Iranian Islamic regime lost her first supreme leader Ali Khamenei and Mustafa Khamenei in the first day of the war between Israel versus Iran. Okay. Now, when my king has been eliminated in the first minute of the battles with the enemy neighbor countries, well, here we can see here is no hope for my country to get a victory against enemy country, where at the first minutes my king would be eliminated. Well, now Iranian Islamic regime with the best modern military technology lost her first supreme leaders Ali Khamenei and the prince of the supreme leader Mustafa Khamenei in the first hour of the war between Israel versus Iran. Okay, and here, what is the points of we can see? Well, and here the significant moments as well, now let's check it. Maulana Abu Toha Adnan's speech. Imam Mahdi would war against Jewish with Muslim force. These, in the first 3 days, Muslim would be going to be defeated by Jewish armies. Okay. Well, several Muslim has been would be dead. I mean, several Muslim would be martyrs accordance with Maulana Abu Toha Adnan's predictions. According with the statements of Maulana Abu Toha Adnan, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam state, okay, one third Muslim would be martyred in the war against Jewish army of Israel, where would be the king of Israel. Okay, and Maulana Abu Toha Adnan contends though that she want to be one of the martyr Muslim in the war between Israeli Dajjal versus Imam Mahdi. Okay. One third of Muslim would be escaped from the battleground of the war between Israeli Dajjal versus uh, Abu Toha Adnan. Okay, but in the 3 days, Imam Mahdi would still alive in 3 days. Well, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Allah would not provide pardon to them. I mean, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, according with Abu Toha Adnan, Allah Rabbul Alamin would not accept their apology. Okay. Now, one third of Muslims would still fight against Israeli Dajjal's Jewish army. And Allah Rabbul Alamin provide victory to Muslim against Israeli Dajjal Jewish army when Imam Mahdi would eliminate Israeli king Dajjal, the Jewish king of Israel. But let's check it. What is the reality? Well, and reality is different, and somehow reality is opposite. Well, Ali Khomeini dead at first day of Israeli attack. Well, Israel versus Iran war 2026. Now here we can see. Well, now it would be not proven the words. Oh my Adonais, I forgot the moments. And here, that is the significant. Well, there is no credible report that Ali Khomeini, Iran's supreme leader, has died. Nor the wars between Israel versus Iran have been broken out in 2026. Well, it would be misinformations. Well, oh my Adonais. Well, now it would be backdated. Now let's check it. at the first points. Uh, well, now here we can see Iran's confirmed Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei dead after US-Israeli attacks. And what is the source? Here the source is Al Jazeera that Iran's confirmed Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei dead after United States Israeli attacks. Okay. Now here we can see. Here it is Wikipedia. Now let's check it. What about NPR? Well, now accordance with NPR, here is moments. Well, let's accept all cookies. Well, Iran's Ayatollah Al Khamenei is killed in Israeli strike and ending 36 years Iran rules. Okay. Now it is the points. Now what about the statement of France 24? It is France news channels. It is French news channels. Well, accordance. Now let's check it. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei killed in United States Israeli attacks. Iran declared 40 days of mourning. Well, in the first day of the war between Israel versus Iran, United States Israel alliance versus Iran. Here, Iran's declared 40 days of mourning because of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's eliminations. Okay. Now, what is the point? When Iranian Islamic regime contains JF-37, AK-47, Sukhoi 30. JF-17 is AK-47, Sukhoi 37, and several Russian military tanks, several Russian missiles S-400 would be owned by Iranian Islamic regime, but still, at the first day of Ali Khamenei, at the first day of the war between United States Israel alliance versus Iran, Ali Khamenei, the supreme leader of Ali Khamenei, the supreme leaders of Islamic Iran has been eliminated, and it is the point here. Russian S-400. Well, Russian-based military technology could not protect Ali Khamenei from Israeli military technology. Well, it is the reality of the war between Israel versus Iran, where both of Israel and Americans contains the highest military technology, and Iran contains highest military technology as well. But still, Iranian military is going to be defeated by Israel. And now, here the point is, Maulana Abu Toha Adnan's prediction would be that, well, Imam Mahdi would defeat Israeli King Dajjal and the Jewish army of Israel with horse and Zulfikar sword, where a Iranian AK-47 could not protect Ali Khamenei. Iranian S-400 could not protect Ali Khamenei. Russian-made Iranian military tank could not protect Ali Khamenei. But according with Maulana Abu Toha Adnan predictions, Imam Mahdi's horse can eliminate Israeli king Dajjal and the Jewish army. Okay. Now, here is the reality points that Maulana Abu Toha Adnan's prediction is one of the joke in these times. Okay. Now here is my points. See you then. Khuda Hafiz. Love you. Okay.